what was the basis for the hypothesis of chronology of different metal ages, like the Bronze Age, Iron Age, etc.? As they Indologists put the timeline of Rig Veda much earlier because of the mentioning of iron in the text, even neglecting other factors like archaeoastronomy, Saraswati River, evolution of language and from Rig Veda to Sanskrit, and all kinds of things. Okay, the question is about the chronology of metal ages. So we have what is called the so-called three-age system: the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, and the Iron Age. Right. So where does this originate? So there was a guy. It all starts with a guy. What was the guy's name? His name. He was a Danish archaeologist. Let's Google the guy. Yeah. Let's go to Google. Where is Google? Here we are. Let us Google Christian Jürgensen Thomsen. This is the name of the guy. He was a Danish antiquarian archaeologist, whatever. Yeah. And in the early 19th century, he developed what is called the three age system. The three age system proposed that the chronology of human history, it went through three different ages. First, you had the Stone Age, then you had the Bronze Age, and then you had the Iron Age. So, and each age was more sophisticated than the previous age. So, in the Stone Age, the humans could only use stone tools. Yeah, they were very primitive, backward people, our ancestors. They did not have any knowledge of metals and all that. Yeah, so that was the Stone Age, which went on for a very long time. Then you had the Bronze Age, so humans acquired the ability to to create bronze tools and weapons. So you have bronze swords, bronze vessels and things like that. And eventually there was an Iron Age, which was more sophisticated, which required better technology, more sophisticated technology, advanced technology than during the Bronze Age. So that is the hypothesis that this person made in the early 19th century. And ever since then, we have been following this. And there obviously has been criticism of this, that, it's a very oversimplification. It's a very oversimplistic model of the progress of human history and human evolution and all that. It's not always like this. And like Saurabh says, in the Rig Veda, there is mention of iron. So then, so in the Rig Veda, there is mention of Ayas, right? Ayas is, well, is it iron or is it some other metal? We're not quite sure, but most likely it means iron. So if people were using iron, our ancestors were using iron during the Rig Vedic age, well, that pushes back the Iron Age to a whole, to a time period way before what is conventionally understood to be the Iron Age. And then we have to ask ourselves the question as to when was the Rig Veda written. Now, if you ask Romila Thapar, she will say it was written after 1500 BC. It was written maybe 3000 years ago. That's what the Indian Marxist historians will tell you, which is all nonsense from a variety of logical reasons. Yeah, the Rig Veda obviously mentions that Saraswati is a great river. We know what happened to the Saraswati around 4200 years ago. She started drying out very badly. Yeah. So clearly, this is written, and the Saraswati started declining around 6000 BC with the beginning of the decline of the Indian monsoon. So the Rig Veda is clearly written at a time closer to 6000 BC than to 1500 BC. Yeah. The second thing is that the Rig Veda clearly describes the society of that time. It describes a rural pastoral society. It describes a pre-Saraswati Sindhu civilization society. The Saraswati Sindhu phase of our history, of our civilization, was a magnificently urbanized phase of history. Our civilization was entirely urban, extremely technologically advanced, and a very large population for that time. Yeah, in a huge population area, a huge geographical area. The society that is described in the texts, or in the text of the Rig Veda, is not an urban society. It's not a very technologically advanced society. Yeah, in the case of monumental architecture and roads and grid system and multi-storied buildings and hydro engineering and all that, the Rig Veda doesn't describe any of that. The Rig Veda describes a rural pastoral society. Yeah. So this is clearly something that today's historians would describe as pre-Harappan. Yeah. The pre-Harappan phase is way before 4000. It's way before 4000 BC. So once again, the Rig Veda seems to have been written closer to 6000 BC than to 3000 or 4000 BC. So clearly, the Rig Veda is way older than what these people have been claiming it is. And then the Rig Veda, we know it has references to ayas, which is iron, most likely. So if the Indian Iron Age was about 6000 BC, that kind of messes up the chronology that our friend, what's his name, Christian Jurgensen Thompson, came up with. Yeah. So this entire hypothesis of the chronology of this three age system, the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, the Iron Age, it is not a hard and fast rule. It's something that somebody came up with, just like somebody came up with the Aryan invasion theory. It's not, when someone comes up with a theory, it has to stand the test of time and it has to match the observational evidence. And clearly, the Aryan invasion theory doesn't match that. And maybe in the case of the three age system, maybe that also doesn't match what we know about our history. So that is the thing. So the basis is just a hypothesis. The basis for the three age system, the chronology of the Metal Ages, is just a hypothesis that, or a theory that a Danish archaeologist came up with. It's not something we have to uh, worship as something that's set in stone, just like the Indian Constitution. Yeah, it's a hypothesis that somebody came up with, and it's not something that is set in stone or iron or bronze.